Welcome to the Friendly Geordies podcast. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes,
I
how are we
feel
all?
sick because I'm full of beef tallow. That's how I feel.
Oh,
We're not going to start with that.
You
I don't-
asked how I
No
feel.
matter how good you think
asked
that
how
segment
I feel.
is,
You
that's
asked
at
how
the
I
end.
feel, and I answered. I answered.
and it will be the highlight, so you stick around.
This is not the viral moment. that
Yes.
you think it
Why
is.
is Miss Love filled with beef tallow? Is it because he's eaten a lot of beef tallow?
Yes.
Only time will tell.
So much tallow.
All right, how are we feeling about the election? Jordan, can we start off with... So Jordan has an announcement to make. He's calling the election now. Who's going to win, Jordan?
Regrettably, guys, I think it will be Dutton with a massive, massive majority.
Woo!
Yeah.
3 more Labour
Celebrating?
years.
We celebrating, everyone?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
happened. I think this is how the universe works.
Yes. I'm sure you've duped the universe.
I think
Yeah,
he
you know
has.
what's
dude.
pathetic?
I think he has.
Both Ali and I genuinely believe that we have.
Well,
No, I think we have.
yes.
And henceforth, and this I've told Jordan this.
I mean, maybe.
I'm going to walk away if he doesn't do this. If he is to talk about a Labour victory, it has to be a hypothetical version in an alternate universe because this election is being won by Peter Dutton, right?
Yes, superstition.
Absolutely. We all know that that's a fact.
Yeah, superstition's science. It's both starts with S, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, this is more evidence. So you're just adding to the pile.
All right, okay.
Man, you must be really stupid. You're the dumb one.
Yes.
All right, can we start with like the Batuta segment?
Yeah.
What?
Can we start with the uni lad, the Batuta segment? Peter Dutton has said that he doesn't want to live in Canberra, even if he becomes the Prime Minister. He wants to live in the Kirribilli House,
Wait,
which is in Sydney.
I thought they do live in Kirribilli House.
Well, that's also the Prime Minister. Can you quick explanation?
They do live in Kirribilli, don't they?
Yeah, well, it's kind of their residency here. What I was wondering is, do they have one in Brisbane and Melbourne, or do they just go to the Hyatt?
I don't know.
No, I think they might have something there too.
Man, imagine this.
But
He just
usually,
doesn't want to live in. That's fucking.
the
funny.
Prime Minister. Well, the funny thing is that he's not from Sydney.
Yeah,
He's
piss
from
off back to Queensland. You're not staying in Sydney.
Malcolm Turnbull had a really good.
Even though you have residency. What?
Malcolm
I
Turnbull
don't
was
care.
Malcolm Turnbull was asked this, like, what do you think about this? He's like, it's totally reprehensible. Why would you want to live in Sydney? You're from Queen, and then he goes like, I decided to live in Sydney because I'm from Sydney.
Yeah, and he stayed in his own house too. Didn't need to. It was a downgrade.
Yeah, he's like, I stayed in my
It's a
electric.
downgrade to go to Kirribilli House.
No, but the question is, do you think it's an insult to all Queenslanders that this guy is electing to live in Sydney? Because
Yeah, I
he's
reckon.
obviously admitting Sydney is a sick place to live.
I reckon he is. Shame.
I mean, yeah, we can spin it that way for our Telegraph headlines.
Joe Bioki Peterson's spinning in his grave. I'll tell you that much.
It's very un-Queensland. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it is.
But like, dude, do you really think that you can... I don't know if you can do this. Can you run the country from a cattle station?
Yes, you
That's
can.
what he's doing.
Finally get some honest policies on the bill.
He's always in contact with real Australia. As we all know, real Australia are people that have very little contact with other people.
Yes, that is correct.
Isn't it weird that that's always like, you need to go to real Australia? What? The loners that live on a
Yes.
patch of land the size of Belgium. That's real Australia.
Yes.
So the Canberran government had a take on it.
Yeah.
They were saying they were offended by the fact that Peter Dutton doesn't want to live in Canberra. He's like,
Yeah, why?
every Prime Minister should be living at the Lodge. That's what it's called, by the way. Did you know that?
That's
Yeah,
funny.
it's,
I
I
didn't even
it's
know
called
that.
the Lodge.
I
Hey,
didn't know
I
that.
didn't even know
It
that.
has something more grandiose.
But like, so they
Nah,
said,
they
said it's clear that Peter Dutton doesn't want to live in the Lodge. So let's all give him a reason to not do it.
And?
Yes.
Which means make him lose the
make
election.
him lose at the election.
Oh, damn. Make Peter Dutton opposition leader again. The
Merch
greatest
available
acronym
now.
we've ever come up with.
Yeah, I was wrong about that, I guess.
Right.
I was like, meh, and it's like selling, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Dude,
a house on fire.
His
There you go.
his like billboards are all over Queensland because my parents live in his electorate.
Right.
And they're all over like the whole place. Just every street you go to, Peter Dutton is standing there with a thumbs up and saying, "Put Australia back on track."
Back on track.
Which is why I'm thinking, dude, he might do it.
Well, of course, if you're in Peter Dutton's electorate looking at billboards everywhere being like, damn,
Sold.
people really like Peter Dutton.
Yeah.
Him and they love Clive Palmer as well. He's renamed his party. What's his new party called?
Trumpet Patriots.
Trumpet.
Trumpet.
Yeah, him and
Dumb. It's like how did he even get to that?
such a him and what's his name? Old mate Trump. Tucker Carlson, just like some shitty photo he managed to snag of that, like them together, is just plastered that everywhere. It's like
I'm still not convinced that that's not also AI, like his logo.
I think it's legit because he had him on some speech presentation thing where it's just like, I admire this man a lot. He's a great billionaire. The other ones you're firing rubber bullets, and he's just like, yeah. So like, he was there with him. They had a conversation. I think it's legitimate, but it's still
I know that they've
very
done that,
lame.
but it's just like
it's still very lame.
It seems like we were talking about this today. It seems like his fist has been enhanced. Who has a hand that big?
People from
does he have giganticism?
He's a big boy, dude.
He's a big boy, but that's an even bigger fist.
Yeah,
it's like I am tired of people making jokes
Yeah.
about my hand. It's
I
so
think
big.
I think that's just what years of like Welsh inbreeding does, or whatever, you know. But yeah, does Albo live
Have
in
it also
Canberra?
a big
Yeah, he
hand?
lives in Canberra. Even though he's from Sydney, he lives in Canberra.
So they're mainly.
Well, that's what
live in
you're
Canberra.
supposed to do. Dude.
Well, you
if
know
you're
what?
the prime
But,
minister,
like,
you're supposed to live in Canberra.
You know what? I reckon they should be allowed to not mainly live in Canberra, but not somewhere nice. It has to be as shit as
Well,
Canberra.
I don't know if this is an original thought or not. It probably isn't, but like Peter Dutton's against working from home, but he wants to work from home. Has that been done before?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been done.
Oh,
It was the first top comment on Reddit.
Oh, it's been
Oh,
done.
damn it.
It's been done.
yeah,
but
it was a low hanging.
still clever.
Very
yeah.
clever. But
He-
guys, you don't understand the best part about all of this. Everyone's missing this. The highlight is that this is campaign time. Dutton has announced no policies. He announced 3 possible referendums and then quickly withdrew all of them.
Shit, all of
has
them?
been the beginning of his campaign. And then he used day 3, the entire day 3.
Wait, didn't he say that he's gonna like reduce $5 on petrol or something?
That was the budget. That was before the election.
So nuclear power, I guess that's his policy.
Pre the election. We're talking about during the election. You're supposed to be out there announcing policies.
Right.
Because you've got the world's the world. I'm sure Greenland's very interested in what happens in Australia and how
but
that
like-
shapes their conditions.
You've got to admit, people are not voting on policy this time around. They're voting on vibe.
Well, that's every election. But
Yeah, but he should still have policies, you'd think. One might posit.
think
Radical.
about beef tallow.
Well, I hope maybe that's your policy. He likes farms, so.
Yeah, baby.
Struggling
Wait, so
to
you're
breathe.
not? So none of you guys care about the fact that he doesn't want to live in Canada.
I care.
Hang on.
I care.
Ali, the highlight is that the third day he calls this big press conference and everyone thinks, oh my God, he's going to do it. He's going to have some busting policy. Like for a while, they were floating this pre-budget and honestly, they would win the election outright if they did this. It would be suicide for the economy, but they would win the election when they said, we are going to make your mortgage tax deductible. I mean,
Whoa.
that's so alluring that I can't
Tax
vote for that. I gotta
deductible.
vote for that. I'm sorry.
Wouldn't that just fuck housing more, though?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also like
Absolutely it
Yeah,
would.
yeah, shit.
But if you have a mortgage, how could you not?
Totally.
You know? So like they were going to float that for a while. So everyone thought, oh my God, he's going to do it. He's going to drop the A-bomb. Holy shit. And then he comes out and he goes, decided if I become Prime Minister, I will live in Sydney. and then leaves. And then fucking, who's the man that's basically a 70-year-old robot on Channel 9?
Yeah.
What's his name? Peter Overton.
Yeah.
Peter Overton, you had him. So good. He is there that night and he's trying to say this as if it's like a serious sentence that should be said. And he says, Peter Dutton has used the third day of the campaign to announce that if he does become Prime Minister, he will not be living in Canberra. You won't guess where. And then it just goes straight to it and he goes like, I've decided I'm going to do this. Trying to put a sizzle on it. It's so boring.
You won't guess
It's just like
where.
I forgot how hilarious old man TV
Yeah,
is. Like,
yeah.
truly, just for 90-year-olds.
Can you explain to me
That is
what
funny.
his actual purpose for living in Sydney is? Like, what would motivate someone to do it?
Well, most of them do.
Because I can't imagine who's like, dude, IV Pooba.
Yeah.
Like, what is his reason?
I can.
Ivy.
Because, like, you know,
boy.
when you're young, it makes sense. But when you're Peter Dutton and you don't have eyebrows, like, do you really care about the party scene, bro? Like, what is the reason here? I think your age prefers hiking anyways.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
No, I honestly think it's the same reason that John Howard spent most of his time in Sydney.
See, I thought
But he was
I thought-
from Sydney. He's staying at home.
Yeah, I
Peter
always
Dutton was
thought.
like, no, I'm just going to stay in Meryton for the next
yeah,
3
what?
years.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to have, I want to keep looking at the opera house.
Watching in Canberra, and it is. But yeah. What?
Speculation, what's his actual reason?
My speculation for his actual reason is that is the Liberal Party power centre. That is.
Is
where
it?
most of
I
the
thought that
decisions
too. I was like, I think he's just thinking like, oh, who's going to fucking live in Canberra and talk to those guys?
Right.
He's like, I may as well stay in Canberra. You know, I'll just steer clear of the western suburbs. I'll be sweet.
Of course.
Don't you think?
Well, as everyone
It's like, okay,
should.
first off, it's like right near his donor base, but I think that that's secondary to the thought that really, under a Liberal government, that is where the control centre is. It's consultants. They just fire all the bureaucrats and they replace them with consultants, and they're all in the KPMG towers in Sydney. And I think that becomes the decision-making centre of Australia when the Liberals are in. I reckon that's the main reason that they do it.
Yeah, maybe Gina told him to stay there as well because she didn't want to be like, she didn't want to go to Canberra every now and then. Could be
Man,
anyone.
could you
But how did-
imagine being Gina Reinhardt and going to Canberra? Like, you'd need a lot of security.
You reckon?
Yeah. She's not going to be popular in Canberra.
Well, like politicians will be egging her.
Huh?
No,
Politicians
it's just
will
like
be egging
just folks of Canberra.
her. Oh.
Folks in Canberra would not like Gina Reinhardt.
Yeah, but they're all very like polite, you know.
No, not to
I
Gina
know,
Reinhardt.
they're just
no.
beaters. Yeah, I suppose that's
They're
the whole thing. It's
polite.
just like, you better watch your back if you go to Canberra, bro.
Yeah.
I think she'll be fine.
I don't see like, you know, the guy like someone working at the state library like egging her. Yeah. One's too busy their mountain bike riding. But how did John Howard get away with staying in Sydney?
How did John Howard get away?
Yes.
Well, that's where it all started to change.
But like he got away with it.
Yeah.
So like why would Dutton even say it? Just go to Sydney and be like, oh, I've had a lot of business
That's
here.
all that should be the main point of Dutton announcing it. It's like,
He shouldn't have
why
announced
are
it.
you wasting a campaign day
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
this?
it's weird.
Yeah, this is a difference between John Howard. John Howard's like, I want to stay with my family. I'll miss my family. Dad, I want to hang out with the boys.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like what boys?
Oh, he's
Well,
got boys.
You know, the
He's
man.
got your boy. Your mate.
Who's my mate?
Justin Heems.
Oh yeah, old Hemsy. Shout out. My mate.
Isn't it weird thinking about Peter Dutton sitting there while he comes out every now and then? He's like, oh, very improper, very, very racist and all this kind of stuff. And then he's sitting there with a billionaire that at your party was like, all right, what we've all came here for, people fucking in the elevator. Caught on CCTV. No, we haven't blurred out their faces. Close up on it, in fact. Yeah, it's Tiger. It's Tiger. Good on you, mate.
So hectic. That is so weird that he's like a big party donor.
Yeah, this guy has huge say in the country.
So insane. All the while underpaying me, being like,
Yeah, at your expense.
yeah, at my expense.
Yeah, you are effectively donating to the Liberal Party.
Underpaying
Like heaps of money.
Yeah.
or overpaying, Miss Love.
Hey. Oh. If I wasn't full of tallow, I'd come up and smack you.
Fair enough. Hey, okay, so there's some other news. Jordan, keep listening to this as well. I don't know if you heard about the Teal saga. I think she might have been your representative.
Really?
So the lady from North Shore, the Teal, what's her name? Let me bring out her
Crazy
name.
there's North Shore. Yeah, Teals. Never thought I'd see
Crazy
that.
there's North Shore. Nicolette Bull.
Never heard of her.
Anyway, so she's like, Chatswood area and all that shit. So she is and she went to a hairdresser. She's embroiled in a controversy. She went to a hairdresser. The hairdresser was 19, and she got her hair done and everything. And afterwards, she's like, "Oh my god, that feels great." According to Ben Fodum, sorry. She said to the hairdresser then, "Oh, you made me feel so great, and I didn't even have sex with you." The hairdresser got really offended, and she reported it to Ben Fordham.
Wait, what? Wait, so who's in trouble? Who said that?
The MP, the member of Parliament.
Outrageous. I'm sure Ben Fordham sincerely cared. And I'm sure he didn't go on about it for 4 hours.
And so she apologized and said no person should be made to feel uncomfortable at their workplace.
Come on,
apologize.
that's un-Australian to be offended by that.
No, she should apologise. It is reprehensible.
Oh my god,
I really
a sexual
understand.
joke in
Do you
Australia.
Do you think this is going to hurt her? She's going against the Liberal
I don't
candidate.
know.
Do you think this is going to hurt her in the polls?
I really.
Nah, man. I mean, I highly doubt people in the North Shore are listening to Ben Fordham in the morning. I mean, I could be proven wrong, but it really doesn't seem like the demographic, seeing as Ben Fordham seems to talk about Masterton homes a lot.
So who is listening to him? Western suburbs.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Planning to build or renovate? I always use Masterton homes. I'm sure you do, Ben, on your 5 Bondi properties.
Yeah. What's
You go,
the?
you go with the Masterton architect, do you?
Yeah, and then and then of course, whatever my name is from Thingy Tiles. Buy my tiles and the best tiles from the tiles. That guy.
Surely that guy's dead. Surely.
One can only hope.
Man, I really sincerely doubt that Ben Fordham pulling his weight on this one is going to affect anything.
All right, while we're on this topic, slight deviation. What are the prospects of Teals in this election, according to you?
Big win.
Now, remember, as always, I'm wrong. Mixed results.
Probably.
Mixed results.
Sounds about
You think
right.
Mixed results?
Yeah.
Well, see, he's the guy that you should be asking these prediction future questions to.
I think
You
mixed
should just be asking me about, like, did you see this in the news, folks? Did you see that? You should be asking me about expendable, like, things that no one cares about that happened that day. That's what you should ask. When it comes to knowing what happens, this is a much more valuable asset right here. Why don't we ask him about stocks? As soon as it comes into that, it's like, it's all cloudy.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
need more beef tallow.
Oh god, I would say invest in beef tallow. Don't know why I'm getting that. But possibly lamb tallow.
Actually, that's a terrible advice.
Possibly
Apparently, the prices are going to crash after Trump's tariffs, but that's a separate segment.
Of tallows.
Well, we'll talk about
Tallow.
Yeah, but sorry, you go on with your mixed.
No,
You
I
tell me
reckon
what you
mixed.
think
I
about
reckon
Teals.
mixed. Yeah.
I think, honestly, 100%, I think a lot of those Teal seats are going to go back to the Libs.
Yeah,
Because it's a flash in the pan thing. It's like, she's got a new hat. And it's like, ooh, it's the Teals. But I think that wears off. I think all independents, they have little blips, but they always equalize.
I hope you're right.
I honestly
I
do
really
think
hope
that.
you're right.
Why are you saying that? Because
Because they're such a scam.
yeah, but don't you think like a minority government of Labor would be benefited by some of the seats going to Teals instead of Liberals?
Yeah.
Define benefit.
Well, okay, look,
It
I know they're
attacks-
not going to, agree to some really progressive taxation, but they could agree to some basic environmental regulations.
Yeah.
And it's their
That's a net benefit,
and it's
I
their
think.
Greens, right? It's the Liberals' Greens. Like it's like sticking
like
in
that.
their craw or whatever.
I do like that. I like both of those aspects. What I don't like is the fact that in the process of building up their brand of being these miracle independents, they've got all the durs online saying, oh, we need independence and we need a crossbench. But it's just the same playbook that they use. This is something that my researcher just pointed out to me because we're doing a big video about like how bad think tanks are, right? And we're talking about the progressive think tank, the Australia Institute. Did you know that they were pushing? Do you remember that weird period after the 2013 election where it was like Clive Palmer was going to save the day? Do you remember
Is that when he started
I do
his
remember
thing?
that.
Just when he started.
Yeah.
He was the guy.
Right.
He was the man.
Really?
He was going to solve all our problems. He was the third way.
Still is for sham, no?
What's changed?
If you're a
Nothing.
patriot or if you like trumpets,
It's in the
Mislav
name.
likes both.
It's in the name. Patriot.
hey, trumpets. Why trumpets? Am I missing something really obvious?
I don't know.
Neither I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it should just be called I Have Dementia. That's the party.
I have dementia.
Wait, so, Jordan, I don't understand this. I don't want to like die on this hill, but I don't understand your disdain for the independents, knowing that those seats going in the Liberal tally is way worse. I'm not saying the Teals winning is a huge score for, progressive side of the politics by any means, but surely it's better than the Liberals.
All I'm saying is that is exactly how the average person should see them. Exactly what you said. But they don't. They have this new dangly toy in front of them. Oh my God, these are saviors because they're new and in front of my face, and they have a big marketing budget.
Yeah, but does
and
it
what
matter?
I'm saying is, in that big marketing budget, I think they are dragging down Labor's primary and then just putting it to all of these opportunistic louts on the crossbench. And that gives me the shits to no end. And I think that is deliberate marketing position that they want, because they are actively trying to construct a crossbench minority government. Like, they're trying to do that.
Look, I get that. I completely understand. I am not... Teals would not be my primary vote by any means. But I'm just saying, like, we should learn something from the other side of the politics too. They're very accepting. Like, they always, like, if you have 1 point... This is the difference between us and them. If you have 1 point that is the same as them, they want you to come on their side. If on the other side of politics, on left, if you have 1 point of disagreement, you can't work together. Like, they're better at building coalitions. So I honestly think, like, we shouldn't be like too against.
Thank you. Now there's a Teal voter if I ever heard one. I think they're safe.
What I'm saying is, like, instead of like trying to get everyone on Labor's side, which in an ideal world, yes, 100%.
Boo.
But like, if
I'm kidding.
If Plan B can be,
I'm joking.
I deserve an apology.
So, I'm sorry.
If Plan B can be that you break as many seats as possible from the Liberals, and yes, you might not form a coalition. It might be a hectic coalition that but it's
honestly,
still better
I
than
really,
a Liberal majority.
I really like your point on it. I have no objection ever with people saying this, and this is why I think, honestly, that independent vote is so big, where you have all the idiots online saying, like, it's a takeover, we're having independence. I honestly think a lot of that is Labor and Greens voters in these seats, like your North Shore seats and all this, thinking, well, there's no fucking chance that you're not getting Jim Daly over at the sports club.
Yeah,
he ran on the Labor ticket. He's been a proud member for 50 years. He's a nice guy. That guy is never, ever representing North Sydney.
I don't know why, but yeah.
It's not happening.
It should, but I don't know why, but yeah.
So, as you're saying, the Teal is this compromise candidate between the 20% of people that live in these electorates that do vote for the Greens and Labor, and is actually, I'd say higher than that. It's probably like 30. It's probably 30, 35, something like that.
I think our attitude towards the Teals should be, even if we don't believe it really, is that we don't agree with them on everything, but they're still sane people. Like, we just need to isolate the coalition as much as possible by like bringing everyone, the others on like on the side of common sense, and then just creating this one block, which is just absolutely cool.
Well, I think that it's just so annoying. What I hate is that online, the argument is always like, oh, Liberal and Labor, shit and shit light. So it's honestly
works for
infuriating.
me.
And then you have these candidates that are literally shit light. Like, that's what they're advertising themselves as. We are the Lib light candidates. That's what Teal means. And then you have everyone being like, oh yeah, vote for them. They're going to change the world. They're saviors.
Yeah, but okay, this is something that Miss Love could get behind. I'm not saying soft drinks are good, but if you have to have soft drinks, go for Coke Zero.
Or better yet,
That's what it is. All right, it's Coke Zero. Coke Zero. In fact, they're Diet Coke because it's aimed at women.
Yeah, it still gives you cancer in the long run, but it doesn't give you obesity in the short term.
Oh, yeah.
that's not bad. I'd prefer a Poshka Hydrate personally, but yes.
That's the Greens, dude.
Damn.
What is Posca? No, Posca's Trumpeter Patriot.
How dare you?
Very little recognition despite large marketing budgets.
Love you, Poshka.
That'd be great. Dude, you know what you should get Merrick to do? Superimpose him in that photo with Tucker Carlson going like, yeah! With a Posca in his hand and that huge fist.
That'd be great.
Did they ever respond to you?
Huh? I don't know where my care package is.
Oh God. I can't wait for that care package.
Well, I'm
I
gonna.
really want a photo of you in bed, looking like you're disabled.
If I
and
keep
then
eating
handing it
tallow,
over
I will
with a
be.
little- huh?
If I keep eating tallow, I will be. But yeah,
That'd be so good. World's fattest man.
changed his diet with Posca Hydrate, turned it all around. I used to be sluggish and tired on the podcast. Now I'm energized and
and
locked
very
in.
hydrated.
Yeah, extremely hydrated.
Yeah, Miz, stop going after Poscas like there's a golden ticket hidden somewhere.
But I'm just a fan. I just like the hydrating
Yeah,
taste.
he's Augustus Gloop. Just like-
No,
He would.
I don't
He
care
would. He
about
would
the
fall
golden
into the
ticket.
river and get sucked up the boat. He would. He'd get stuck in there because he's fat from all the tallow.
He'll throw the golden ticket and have more Posca.
Holy shit, that's so funny.
Oh, Augusta, sweetheart, leave some room for later.
I want all the Posca. Give me the Posca. Oh, what's yuzu? Are so good. Strange Japanese fruit.
Okay, so let's talk about some of Albo's predicaments and what we think he should do.
Albanese.
So, April 2nd. Do you guys know the significance of April 2nd? So we're recording this on April 1st. Just so you know. April 2nd is when Trump's promised massive tariffs on everyone.
Right.
And-
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Trump is
Damn.
threatening, and basically what Trump is saying that if you don't want us to put tariffs on you, you got to fix three things, Australia. One is the quarantine requirements. So because we're an island nation and we like to protect our biodiversity, there are some regulations around stuff that comes from the U.S. and its quarantine requirements. Trump's like, get rid of that.
Oh my
Too
God.
much effort.
That's
One.
That's
Oh my God.
that's like
Yeah, I think we'll deal with the tariffs that affect you more than us, Chan.
yeah.
I think we're good.
That's number one. Number two is Trump wants. So we get some. We do, with our healthcare, we do collective bargaining. We try to reduce costs of stuff. So we do that with some of the medicines that we buy from the U.S. We say, if you want to sell it to us, we're going to buy a shitload because we've got a big population, but you've got to discount the medicines for us. And they've been doing it, but they hate it. And Trump is now saying you have to raise your medicine prices.
He wants to fuck the country. He wants to turn it into America.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is saying this is a demand. Good.
Yeah.
Means old Geordie has a video for Wednesday.
He is.
One
Well,
more
and
day
what
in
was
the algorithm.
Jesus Christ.
Long lash.
there was another one.
Get away from me, you freak. No, please.
Joined.
When did you turn into the guy from Death of a Salesman? When you got a
Maybe
mortgage.
when I was like 18. maybe. Yeah. All the days meld into one another when you're on the internet.
One big day of fun.
One big misty day.
Oh, it's just one big Silent Hill meme of a day. Just
So good.
walking in the mist.
What was that meme?
It was just like a
But
shot.
me when, and then there was
Oh,
a
like
guy walking
insert
with
situation. You know?
Insert situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
You didn't show me one. That
Oh, there was one
specifically-
that was like me at the end of the night with the boys when I decide not to get an Uber home, just walking.
Sorry.
That's pretty good, eh?
The last thing that he wants us to do is this is on behalf of Elon Musk and all the tech giants, the bargaining code. So he wants us to stop having the tech companies to pay news agencies for their stories.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the thing?
Hey, where he giveth, he taketh away.
So those are the three demands that essentially Trump has for any kind of favor. He's saying
Wait,
if
what's
you
the
don't-
last one? I don't get the last one. Is it they're
It's the
saying
news bargaining code thing.
the
Basically,
thing that we like fought that didn't wasn't that whole lawsuit thing? Isn't it like basically we made it so that like Facebook isn't a news outlet? Is that what happened? Like it doesn't act like a journalist or something?
Well, pretty much they just have to pay for news
Right.
that they use.
Yeah. And what's Trump? What does he want us
He
to
wants
do?
to get rid of that so they don't have to pay for news. And they can pretty much copyright Sydney Morning Herald stuff. And look, I'm all for it.
Oh,
I've got no issue with
this
this.
Now,
man
what-
really hates the media, like a lot.
What he's threatening us with is it's not just the steel stuff. So, you know how you probably went to the US, you would have known. Most of the Wagyu that is sold in the US is actually Australian Wagyu.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. Yeah,
So we sell a lot to the US.
you just
Wagyu.
can't get it
And
here.
so Trump is so that's going to be one of the things that he's going to put tariffs on, supposedly.
Oh my god!
Which
he's really
I
screwing
don't know.
us.
I don't know how this works, but in my head that might mean cheap Wagyu for us,
Yes,
but it probably wouldn't. It usually is.
still anyway.
But he could.
could.
Preemptive high five.
More tallow for Miss. Tallow in
Wagyu
beef
contains
form.
tallow.
No, so okay, fellas. Now Albo has said to this is like none of these things I'm going to negotiate on. If you want to put tariffs,
Yeah.
put tariffs. We'll have to deal with it. We can't get bullied like this.
Mad.
Peter Dutton has overtly said, I agree with this, but he's also said that you need to have back channel talks with Trump. All of this could be solved if you just weren't an idiot.
Right, okay.
But he does,
But,
but he does
really
agree
stupid.
with
Does
the
anyone
idea.
believe that?
Wait. Dutton was saying what? Just like,
I agree with everything Albanese said.
Yeah.
However, you're still wrong. That's
yeah. What does
pretty
that
much it.
mean? Yeah, it's like control Trump's mind.
What Dutton is saying, is that because I'm like really good friends with Gina, and Gina's been for Trump for a while,
right.
I have back channel connections with Trump, and I think I can fix all of this. That's what Peter Dutton is claiming. Everyone is saying that's not going to happen. Like you will just get embarrassed badly.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying. That's my in.
Yeah. Bullshit. I doubt
You
it.
call it bullshit?
Yeah. I think that's rubbish.
I mean, surely you call bullshit.
Okay, neutral.
Do you think that, like, I do think
I
a lot
think-
of the time when it comes to diplomacy, it's just bullshit.
I think it is 100%
It's your bullshit
bullshit.
concept.
I think it is 100% bullshit. But like, just hypothetically, do you think if Trump, the idea that a right-wing government comes in Australia, Trump's going to like that.
I guess. Yeah.
Do you think he would be willing to give concessions based on that?
That is possible.
Well, the thing is,
that
he's
is
given
possible.
no other concessions. He's given no concessions across the globe, just blanket tariffs.
No, he's saying blanket tariff. They're saying like so Trump said that the only way I can even entertain the idea of an exception is if you give me something that is hard for me to refuse.
Such a like.
And he's essentially laid out
pirate.
these 3 points for Australia. Like, if you want to have this conversation, then here are the 3 points.
You know what's really weird, and maybe it's just because we've been doing this for so long, but it's so strange how blatantly pro-corporate every single decision Trump makes is. There seems to be nothing in the favor of the public benefit. Nothing.
Yeah.
Every single decision. Just we're banning plastic straws, and then you have the CEO of Plastech in the back.
I know.
I personally think it's a great idea.
I know.
Dude,
Yeah.
again,
You know what's insane?
Fascist playbook, straight up.
Why?
Well, he's just like battling for the oligarchy. That's it. He's like pretending that he cares. He's like for, the masses of the working class. And he's like sold them the story based on like, I don't know, some cultural values. But all he does is just represent the interests of the oligarchy. That's
Yeah.
fascism. I mean, okay.
But it's not though, is it? Because, Hitler and Mussolini did a lot of things that were in the public benefit, Like they implemented like environmental regulations and they like built up the manufacturing base and they did all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like, he's just not doing anything.
Right.
He's
Yeah,
just
I think I'll have to agree with what Mehdi Hassan said, which is that if these fascists were competent, we'd be screwed.
That's hilarious.
Dude, that's a good call.
That's funny.
That's a very good call. He's right.
Yeah.
Dude, I read this post today, I guess, and it was just like it was by this page I follow that's kind of like bees and pesticides, and it was this long thing, and it was like Trump, in a rare turn of events, has decided to ban Roundup and blah blah blah, this chemical used in mass agriculture in America that's responsible for these illnesses, respiratory, like all this stuff, like early death, like dementia, like, and is poisoning America. And I was just like, and it's this huge thing. I was like, damn. Well, he's done run right thing. And then I was like, yes. And then started reading the comments. And I'm like, April Fools. It was a joke.
Oh my god.
So annoying. Because I was really like, he's done one smart thing and it's not unbelievable. Maybe someone told him, look, this is like killing Americans. And it was just like, of course you didn't do that. It's a joke. April Fools. I'm like, you got me, Preservation Society page. Thanks.
It's so good, your news feed. Awesome. He just gets these weird little pet issues in his head. And so he has this strange little garden, this little private garden of ideas that are constantly feeding into his mind.
Yeah,
That
a big garden.
Helen Haynes' Facebook page.
You like that?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I like it. I do like it.
Does it freak you out?
Wollongong's city council, I guess is there. It's just really weird boomer collection.
Are you not?
His stepdad.
Are you not
Stepdad's
interested in, banning pesticides and bees?
I am. It's just I don't watch it because it's just endlessly depressing news, and I'm not an 80-year-old woman. But you are.
I know. And the dumb thing is, I was like, this is very good. And I got to like the fourth comment being like, can't believe some people believe this shit. And I was like,
Yeah.
Fuck.
There's a real idiot. Yeah.
Luckily I didn't. There's
Dude,
no
you
proof that I was duped.
Dude, Mislove is so in tune with the zeitgeist. The crazy thing is, this man was pro-Trump 2016 and against Trump 2024, which is the opposite of what everyone else was.
Yeah.
Wait. What do you mean?
Good on you. You know, you've got your hand on the pulse of society.
He's
just
got the hand.
right.
on the
Really?
pulse.
Why?
He's got his hand on the
Because,
pulse.
dude, 2016
Dude.
Trump was like all talk and...
No, yeah. It was all talking.
But
I
like,
was
dude,
like,
2024 Trump,
yeah.
he's not all talk.
No.
He's
Yeah.
a lie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And also, talk.
It's also hard to look at what he's doing. It's really...
He also doesn't know what he's doing. I saw Jon Stewart's bit, like, you uploaded it on Monday. Most of the stuff you ask him, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but I just want to let you know you're wrong.
You're wrong. And also, how insane was that gaffe of like them leaking everything on that Signal group chat? All those like Pete Hegseth or whatever. And like, it is crazy that they're just like Fox News was like, there was an insane report of
Dude,
like
you know
that.
what's insane about that? I actually read up a little bit. This is the most insane thing about this. JD Vance and most of Trump's inner circle went to Trump and said, look, this is not good. This is a serious violation, and I think you need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Trump said, I don't care about him. And he's also, this guy was clearly, the reason why he added the journalist on the Signal group was because he was leaking stories.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now he's pretending somehow his phone number got sucked into my phone.
Yeah.
And the journalist was like, but like, my phone number was in your phone because you've had it in your phone for a long time.
Wait, not Pete Hegseth,
and
the
we
other
know
guy?
each other.
Who? Pete Hegseth?
No, the other
guy?
dude.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And Trump's like, no, we'll keep him.
No, but Trump said, yeah, I don't care about him. I wouldn't mind getting rid of him. But the thing is, last time in my 2016 presidency, I caved into a lot of this bullshit liberal attacks. And this time around, I'm not giving them a single inch. He's doing Roy Cohen, essentially. He's like,
Yeah, Roy Cohen. Like, he is gone. He is like, he is like, I would be the last person to have been like, he's your dictator. But like, he is, a lot of these tendencies are the rule book of it. But my point is that like, the Fox News reporting was comically insane. It was just like that Guido guy being like, have you ever had a party and you've got a bunch of people in the chat and you're saying we're going to go for beers and we're going to have a good time. And then someone adds Aunt May and you got egg in your face. She heard you say some stuff she shouldn't have had. That's what's happened here. I'm sure it won't happen again. And it's like, that's how you report. Imagine if this happened under Biden. Can you imagine the scrutiny? Biden would have to fire every single person involved by like 6 degrees, and still Fox would be like, if we don't riot now because of this, we don't have a country. Seriously, that's what they would say. And the fact that it's just like, the way they reported it was just like, dude, this is like, how are you not laughing while you're saying this? It's like, are you serious? Like, you can at least just say the facts and say this was bad and not talk about it.
No, but their response was, well, you're focusing on the wrong thing. The point is, we did something that Biden didn't do. Bomb Yemen. It's like, No, he did that a lot. He bombed Yemen a lot. What are you talking about?
It's just like that. That to me is
Everyone
crazy.
has been bombing Yemen. Like that is the one thing that's consistent
no one can
with the whole
take
press.
credit
Also-
for that.
And you know what the crazy thing
Yeah.
is? They're still not losing, you morons. Like,
Still.
like clearly, this policy isn't working.
Yeah. You know what's crazy too, and I know this kind of plays into the stereotype of me being an old man, but I've been watching a lot of like Senate question time on like Forbes magazine.
On Forbes.
Dude, that's a sign of the day of judgment.
Old man magazine.
Anyway,
Who makes the Fortune 500 this year?
what do you
Like
know?
J.D. Rockefeller said. I tip my hat to you.
I like the crossword puzzles too because they're simple.
Well, don't you know it? Toys R Us folded. So anyway, you know, get your laughs aside. I was watching the Senate questioning on Forbes. And like these all of these sort of like, you know, Tulsi Gabbard, like Pete Hegseth, all these sort of like individuals, they really, when they're getting questioned, like seem extremely incompetent and like underprepared. They can't really answer.
This is incredible. This is a man that doesn't know anything about the procedure. Like, barely would not understand what the Senate thing is in America. Like, I don't understand it. I'm like way more into it. I don't even know what the US Senate looks like.
Oh, I know.
Oh, he's well versed. Sorry, I asked the wrong person.
Yeah.
He is at that retirement age where he goes in and sits in courtrooms to keep an eye on justice.
I think the Senate looks like Mitch McConnell's asshole. Just a bunch of hemorrhoids everywhere.
Dude, have you guys
causing irritation for the country?
Have you guys seen the new head director of FBI, Kash Patel?
Yeah.
This guy? You know this guy?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, this guy, he starts shit. So, like, basically the Senate is like, you know, the principal in high school. Like, when you get in trouble, you get sent to the principal and it's a Senate and they rinse you. And, you know, your job is like, if you actually were
Cared about your
competent,
job.
you would be honest and say, and like, you know, be transparent about everything. But it's just a way to cover your ass and just say, I do not recall that particular
Over and over.
moment.
Yes.
But this Kash Patel guy, in front of the Senate, arcs up to them and like talks back. And he's like, as I already stated, I wasn't privy to the information if you'd listened. Like, to the Senate, which like no one does. Like,
Yeah,
very
dude,
poor form.
His entire cabinet, they're pieces of shit. Dude, that Pete Hegseth
that
guy
sucks.
apparently he has a tattoo that says infidel. Like,
Really?
Well, okay, I read this.
No, it's a Christian cross.
No. Is this true?
I don't
Chat,
know.
tell
I
us
don't
if
know.
this is true.
I don't know.
Apparently, there's a tattoo on him that says kafir, which is the Arabic word for infidel. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be pro-Islam by any means, but like that's a bit extra, don't you think?
That is very extra. And also, like, he's running.
The FBI.
Dude, that guy, I'm sorry. Let's just he's incompetent. He was a Fox News reporter. What qualifications does he have? Oh, he was in the army. Like, I don't think that is enough of a qualification to, like, administer the biggest military in the world.
Well, Kash Patel, dude, I don't think he was in the army.
No,
either.
that guy's just a lawyer. And it seems like all
Dude,
these...
that guy is, yeah.
But it seems like it's very easy to get your law degree in America because these guys are all idiots and they're all lawyers.
Oh shit, the jig is up.
I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. It's
Am I
way
wrong?
easier.
It's
way
easier?
And
No,
it
it's
gets
not way easier,
by
but it's the same.
state.
Sorry?
It's
Hey,
easier by
can you guys-
So it's a state thing.
Can you guys like just push the cords on the? I think I'm hearing a disturbance.
No, that's just you, dude.
I'm
Yours.
trying. I fixed it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
can you
what
imagine how easy it'd be to get one from the University of Alabama?
is that? So they differ state to state.
Huh?
Do they differ state to? It's not like a national.
No, fuck no.
Really?
I'm absolutely betting that it's.
I mean,
like,
JD
it's like ours differs state to state.
JD Vance is a lawyer.
Huh?
JD
Dude, they're
Vance is a
all
lawyer.
lawyers. Like
they're all lawyers.
Each and every one of them are lawyers.
But that's not. But I thought
I think even the guy in the hoodie who wears the hoodie and shorts. I
what's
think
his name?
he also went to Harvard Law.
Oh yeah, what's that guy's name? I forget.
Jesus. So, do you think that JD Vance is the least piece of shit in the administration?
I don't know.
Dude, JD Vance.
No, I think Tulsi Gabbard like her heart's in the right place.
Really?
I think so.
What? So you've watched her,
Yeah. Oh yes, I've watched her.
and she seems like a hippie, or
No, she definitely does like obfuscate and like dodge questions, but like she looks like she has empathy and she knows that like she seems like she has a heart.
What a crazy arc, dude. She was the Democrat from Hawaii, and
the
now
replacement
she's
Bernie Sanders.
in the Trump cabinet
Yeah, it is very strange.
on a signal chat about bombing Yemen for fun.
It's really
It's the
weird.
same thing that all those hippies have. It's Russell Brand effect.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he had many R accusations that are for Republicans. Still, it's a hippie thing.
Dude, have
Hippies
you-
can move.
I think so, yeah.
Miss, have you seen that meme where there's a Ronald Reagan joke? Just out of context, but I'm going to tell you this. Ronald Reagan sitting there, he's like, I was in the White House and this little child with her two parents came to me and she said, one day, President, I want to be the president myself. And I looked at her parents, who were both liberal Democrats, and I asked the little child, I said, if you were to become the president, what would be the first thing you'd do? And she said, I would solve homelessness and poverty. And you could see her parents beam with joy. They were proud. And I asked her, well, you don't have to wait to be the president to do that. Why don't you come to my house tomorrow? You can mow the lawn.
It's a long meme.
And then I will give you $50 for it. You can go to the grocery store and you can buy food for the homeless people. And the little girl says, well, if that's what's going to happen, why doesn't the homeless man just come and mow the lawn? You can give it directly to him. And I said, welcome to the Republican Party. And her parents haven't forgiven me till this day.
Really?
Oh my
Who said that?
Reagan.
god. That's
Okay, because you were using an old-timey voice. I thought you were like going way back. I thought it was Wilson or something.
No, Reagan. Ronald Reagan said that.
That is, God.
I mean that
I miss the old, like,
yeah.
here's my pre-planned joke.
Yeah, pull up.
This
yeah.
is my
Putting
pre-planned joke.
all of my dementia-addled brain memory into memorizing instead of stats, which is why we were often taken advantage of in discussions with Bob Hawke.
I feel like
Ronald Reagan was all about government has gone too far. The government isn't a solution, but it's a problem, as opposed to now, which
Yeah,
is
that's what I mean.
round up hijabi women
Yeah.
to ICE detention.
Yeah,
centers.
it's such a because like to be honest, Reagan's thing
Yeah,
is
but
just like
you look like you immigrant, man. So you spend your life in jail.
it is a huge change. Like the old school Republic, like dude, that sentiment, I'm like, he's got me thinking, you know. The old school
I
Republican
honestly
thing,
think that it just
I like
boiled-
the old school Republican thing was just like, you know, pull your socks up. It's time to get to, you know.
Yeah, but I think that was mostly just because they didn't realize, because social media exists, that no one was voting for the Republican Party for their economic sensibilities.
Yeah.
They don't care at all.
Yeah.
They just care about shitting on immigrants.
Also, if you are a homeless person, no one's going to hire you to do their lawn. They'll be like, you stink.
Yeah.
You're trapped. You're trapped. It's a trap.
And that's the Republican Party.
Welcome to the Libertarian Party.
Well, I've been here a long time, sure. You don't have to welcome me.
All right, okay.
I know my way around.
You still got those Monte Carlos here or what?
So everyone else in the Trump in the Trump cabinet, you're just like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Yeah?
100% just
Only Tulsi.
even Tulsi, I'm like, I don't think she's good. I don't think she's capable, but she seems like she was the only person that seemed to me that looked very like
Hot.
guilty.
Hot.
No, but she seemed like she has empathy and that she felt like even though she was dodging questions, you could tell that she was like she knows that like she screwed up, and like I feel like Tulsi Gabbard might be the kind of potentially could be the kind of person that if she did screw up badly, she might just leave on her own accord and be like, I'm going to resign because of malpractice or something.
Right.
Whereas the rest of them, definitely not. That Kash Patel guy would nuke America.
Did you see JD Vance in Greenland?
Yeah, that was
He's
insane.
such a dumb guy.
Yeah, that was so
It's just-
crazy.
he goes into the cafeteria where all the U.S. soldiers are based in Greenland, and he goes like, "Everybody, sit down. Don't let the vice president interrupt your dinner." Who knew Greenland was going to be this cold? It's like, who knew?
Small talk. Yeah.
But like, that's the stupidest small talk you could have. Dude, that is the one thing it's famous for.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
really cold.
Yeah.
He's so uncomfortable, isn't he?
He has a
That's what I
strange-
really can't stand. Isn't it weird looking at Elon Musk and Trump on stage at the same time? You have the most charismatic man on earth and the least charismatic man on earth.
Yeah. JD Vance,
And then JD Vance is just the biggest cunt.
but JD Vance, I think, does believe what he believes. Like, I also watched his address to the Greenland American Army on Forbes magazine. And,
So Forbes magazine is your new go-to.
it's been a
done with
staple. It's been
democracy
a staple. It's
They
been a
need
staple.
to change their jazz tune at the beginning, otherwise
They're
out.
both staples.
Staples.
I jump around. I jump
Old
around.
man news.
I jump
So
around.
why are you reading? You don't work on Wall Street. Why
I
are
don't
you
know.
doing this?
They keep me informed. So like, and I watched his address,
Straight
and like,
from their mouth, none of the filters.
and I watched his address, and like, he genuinely does believe, I think, what, he believes what he says. He
Which
actually,
is what Denmark sucks.
yeah,
Oh, he
thinks,
believes that.
He thinks America's being ripped off. China and Russia are encroaching. Like, America's like needs to become more like strong. It's incompetent, all this kind of stuff. But it's like it's just this whole like America's been hard done by the rest of the world, and the rest of the world are freeloaders. That's what he legitimately
This
thinks.
is so ridiculous. First of all, you set up this system. Secondly, they now think that this system is not working for them. And so you have to rejig the system where everyone has to pay for their defense without realizing, dude, then you have no purpose. Like, why are we listening to you? We pay for our own defense. We have to give you money like you're the Roman emperor.
Yeah.
It's like free trade is good until we're making money. As soon as you get better at something, we have to rejig and we have to put quotas. Like,
Yeah, but they say it
this
through
relationship is not working for us now.
I think they just see it through this strange lens of like, well, I just like a different view of reality. But it's like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the thing of like two people can look at an objective fact and they can agree on the fact, but how they got to that fact are completely different realities and they're completely at different odds and ends.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
All right, right.
Like but then, yeah, like even the thing of just being like China's encroaching, it's like they don't, you could say, you could cherry pick examples of them seeming aggressive, but then someone else could be like, they've never been a wartime. There's no proof. There's like, look at the other things. They've never invaded a country generally. They don't seem to be like a war hungry nation, but I don't know. It's just like how people see things. Like that's what you think. You know what I mean? You can never come to a consensus. It's like
you can't win.
it's
All right,
brutal.
So next segment, today at National Press Club of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull made a big speech. And this is the gist of what he's saying.
Was this on Forbes? I didn't see it.
Unfortunately,
Sorry, why are we discussing non-Forbes related sources?
okay, Jordan,
This podcast really dropped off.
I'm going to quickly summarize.
Forbes.
Sad decline.
I'm going to quickly summarize what his point of view is.
Forbes.
Okay, I think I
Okay.
can guess, but do it.
He first starts
I
off.
fucking hate that guy.
He first starts off with saying that
Trump's a bully.
yes, and then like the only way you have to deal with Trump is to be more like Trump. If he's going to become transactional, then we have to also become transactional, and we have to protect ourselves. The second thing he says about the AUKUS, he's saying that first of all, the problem with AUKUS is if you look at the Navy complex of US, their productivity levels are getting lower. By the time we're supposed to receive these submarines, they're not going to have enough submarines. They're not going to sacrifice their own submarines to give to us. So we won't have the submarines that we've bought. And we need to be prepared for a plan B. And he says, whenever I asked Australian officials what happens in case we don't receive those submarines, they say, we will receive the submarines. And it's like, that's like saying, I ask you, we're going for a picnic. What if it rains? And you say it won't rain. It's like, maybe it won't rain, but tell me what if it does rain? And they have no answer for it. And he's like, who has an answer for it? The US. They're really transparent about this. And they've talked about what happens when we have to give these submarines to Australia. And they say at that point, we'll make a decision based on the threat perception. And if we can't give them submarines, we won't give them submarines. We'll compensate it by long range missiles or something. And so Malcolm Turnbull was saying that we basically wouldn't have submarines. So we need to like get out of this as soon as possible, go back to the French and get the submarines that our process had basically recommended to us. He's like, this whole nuclear stuff just came out of nowhere.
Would he still be considered a lib today?
Yeah.
Right.
But a wet. He's just a wet.
Right.
That's
right,
it. A wet that can speak his mind.
Essentially, he's gone against AUKUS.
Yeah.
But he was always against AUKUS.
Yeah, but like, he's making a point of like, it's
Now's
not
the
that
time.
like whether nuclear are better or diesel electric are better. It's
Yeah.
like, we're not getting those ones. Like if you think they'll sacrifice their own submarines he's saying by the time the submarines are due to us, Americans will have less submarines than they have now. And in that environment, the idea that you think they'll give you these, and he's saying that these submarines are like, the top of the ladder
Right.
submarines for them. They're not going to give them up that easily. So we're essentially going to be left with nothing and we're going to be really vulnerable. So he's also saying that we need to also, the idea that we always need someone to help defend Australia is an idea of the past. Like we need to get self-reliant and sovereign to the point where we need to be able to defend ourselves. And whatever sacrifices we need to do for that, we must do.
Yeah, well, all well and good to say when you're not the Prime Minister.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, I feel like this is kind of like his thing of becoming a republic, which is that it all sounds good, but like for some reason, more than half of the country said, "Nah, I'd rather be America's lackey." Like, I don't know how popular this would be.
You know what I'm really weirded out by? It's so strange that AUKUS seems to be the thing that Malcolm Turnbull and Paul Keating are into. I was saying this to Miss Love on the plane. Don't you think? Malcolm Turnbull. Shit Paul Keating.
Oh, way shitter.
Don't you think? But like he wants to be
He wants to,
Paul
yeah,
Keating.
yeah, well.
And he's kind of there, but he just doesn't have the cadence.
He's also
He's
just
learned, but he's not. He doesn't have the swag.
Yeah.
What?
Well, he's also just
Got a bit of the
flipped.
swag.
He's flipped as well.
What?
Like he like it's so. I think it's the story arc of like being being the prime minister, having shit policies, and then leaving, and then being like, I'm actually a really socially conscious person. I'm basically like progressive now. It's just like for the optics. It's
He
like,
made a
fuck
really
off.
good point about Peter Dutton and Trump, though. He said that he was asked, like, who do you think will be better vis-a-vis Trump? Whether it be Albo and Peter Dutton. And he's saying, that's a really difficult question. I think the only way we can find out is whoever becomes the prime minister and how they deal with it. He's saying that he basically said that the advantage that Peter Dutton has is the supposed connections through Gina Reinhardt. But he's saying the disadvantage is that he lives in the Fox News ecosystem. So in his ecosystem, it will be really hard going against Trump. He's like, if he goes against Trump, he's going to lose a lot of his own base. And I wonder how he's going to be able to defend Australia when he's in that predicament. And he said that Albo does not have that predicament. So he didn't say who's better, but he kind of implied that Albo's probably better.
No, he's definitely pushing towards it. He is.
He's not going to say it, though.
No, of course not. But he is just saying he's doing the same thing that everyone does. We can't have Dutton. We just can't. So,
And he's
I don't
right,
know,
dude.
I guess that works.
Yeah,
Well-
it would suck.
Can I give my prediction of how I could be wrong about Dutton getting an absolute majority?
In a
I
hypothetical
can't follow
alternate
the-
universe?
Alternate universe,
Yeah,
not
okay.
this one.
I can't follow.
Not this one,
what
because
that
Dutton's
means.
winning this one according to Jordan.
Dutton
Yeah.
is definitely winning. Get a hat. Make Dutton opposition leader again, even though it's not going to happen. He is going to become prime minister. But
Fuck, you guys are so superstitious.
in a hypothetical scenario, have you seen the polling for Albanese?
49-51.
Of course not.
49-51. What was it a few weeks ago?
49-51 the other
50-50.
way.
No. There was polls that were hitting it at 53-47.
Whoa, a
Jordan, I'm
marginal
going to
difference.
be, and this isn't even about an alternate universe. I'm telling you, dude, this is going to be a really close election. This election is going to have more swing voters than any of the previous election. Seats that we thought were safe either way are going to make massive flips.
You reckon?
I think like
Why?
cost of living.
Cost of living. See, now this is the thing. I think that what cancels out cost of living is the fact that cost of living is improving and people just feel that. Don't you think that it's just not as desperate as it was a year ago?
It wasn't, but like I think the devastation was so much that even at this stage where inflation rate is reducing and people do see it, they've just come so far and like their wages are still not there that they're looking for an excuse to just vent. Now, having said that, Peter Dutton does not have the same sort of charisma that Trump did. I will give you that, which means that less people are going to be inclined to go for Peter Dutton because he just doesn't have the meme value.
Memes.
But is that enough to change the result? I don't know, dude. I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. And if someone was to put a gun to my head, honest to God, I'm going to say Peter Dutton.
To win?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
But I'm not saying that I'm not as sure about this as I was about the US election. But
yeah, I don't think
my
he'll
hunch
win it.
is there.
I don't think he'll win it. I mean, it's
Even if the coalition loses, it's going to be so close. It could be a hung parliament. It'll definitely be a minority Labour.
You think it'll be a minority Labor?
I think so.
Polling is suggesting that they're moving rapidly towards majority.
I know
reckon
that's
that
what
you
the
go to
polls are
next
saying.
News poll, and it'll be 52-48, and there's even a chance it'll be 53-47.
The only thing we can really hope for is that there's enough people over here that realize that whole Trump playbook is bullshit.
Don't you think that, like, look, this has been summed up a couple of times, but my editor was saying, and I think that he's absolutely right, as you said, there is always the thing of, with Donald Trump, people would say, oh yeah, I'm never going to vote for him, but secretly they're going to vote for him. And I fully get the appeal because the idea of Trump losing makes me feel sad for Trump. Because you know that he takes that hard. And he's just so much a part of your life that you kind of just want to give him the dub based on that, you know? So I understand that pull towards that. Peter Dutton doesn't have anything like that. Peter Dutton has the exact opposite. People will be in the poll booth and they'll sit there and be like, Albo's done. He's done. He's got to go. And then they'll be in the poll booth and they'll be, I can't vote for Peter Dutton.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
I think so.
But like he's already started attacking Albo on China a lot. He recently said that Albo is like being useless. China is like sending their naval ships. He's saying that they're planning on destroying our internet cables in the ocean, in the Australian exclusive
What?
economic zone.
Rit?
He's saying that that's what they're like prepping for or whatever. And he's
Right.
like, and Albo doesn't care and he's oblivious to it. Do you think there's enough Australians that are freaked out by China? Because like, dude, it's again, the fear. Never underestimate the emotion of fear.
Yeah, but I think that honestly, when it comes to Dutton, the fear is his face. That's what most people, they just look at it and I can't do it. I can't. It's too much of a ghoul.
I can't look at it.
It's scarier than China.
Dude, my mom says, like, I asked mom, I was like, Mom, who are you going to vote for this time? She's like, I'm just going to decide on the day. And I was like, how do you normally do it? It's like, usually I look at the candidates and I say, who's more good looking?
Well, that's one for Labour.
Yeah. It's so weird that she's married to your dad.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know who's my dad going to vote for because he's a citizen too now.
Who do you reckon
Crap.
he'll vote for?
I don't know,
Socialist
dude.
alternative.
I have no
Yeah.
idea. He's such an unpredictable
It'll be that.
man.
I reckon
I
your
voted
dad.
for Dutton.
I reckon your dad. I reckon your
I
dad.
wanted to revoke my citizenship.
No, I reckon your dad will do that thing where you can pick every seat in order, like 100 boxes, and he'll just be like, and just do it like one by one, like every single seat.
But dude, like I think their vote is useless, right? Even if they vote Labour, they're in Peter Dutton's electorate. As if
I don't know.
that's gonna like help.
I thought they were in.
Wait, they're in Peter Dutton's electorate?
Yeah.
No, their vote matters massively.
Oh, it does?
Man,
'Cause if
Peter
it-
Dutton's electorate is marginal.
I
It's
can
always been
I can convince my
marginal.
mum to vote for whoever. Like
Yeah, you'll then get her to vote for the Labour candidate,
Yeah,
whatever her
yeah,
name is, the real Peggy Sue, the one that doesn't have a leg.
I'll get her to do
Get her to
that.
vote for the legalist.
I'll just tell her like I'll just say like something that affects her, you know.
Yeah, just
He's
be like,
well, you know what? It's childcare.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, childcare, like whatever job. Albo's giving tax cuts, you know. She's
Isn't it
very
incredible?
easily
This is what you need to remember all the time. In my chronically online hyper universe, these talking points actually work with everyday Australians. You just say, Albo's giving you cheaper healthcare. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I do get sick, yeah.
Yeah, bulk billing,
that's what
dude. Yeah,
happens.
all my mum's interests are with the Labour Party, like genuinely.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so easy to convince her.
So easy.
But
Make
dude,
sure you do it because honestly, the seat of Dixon, you could top Peter Dutton. I don't think it's going to happen, but they say that it can.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, it is a paper thin seat.
All right, I can
Always has
guarantee
been.
you one extra vote. I can't guarantee you my dad's vote.
2 extra
Because my
votes.
dad, I don't know.
Not
dude.
happening.
He might. He's just
He's
a
got any
very
other
unpredictable
dying
man.
relatives hanging around as well.
My brother and his wife, they also live in the
Dying
same electorate,
inside.
but they vote Labor. They're hardcore Labor
Okay.
voters anyways.
Sick, good. Junkie. What's
yeah.
the time?
9:05. 10 more minutes. Let's do, what other segments do we have? Oh, okay. Trump is apparently genuinely considering to serve a third term. Have you guys heard
That's-
about this?
Yeah, he's not genuinely. Come on.
How,
Dude, he says
how
initially he used
It has
to
been
say
done
that
though,
it's
right?
a joke.
Oh, yeah.
It has been done.
Yeah, but then they like codified it in the Constitution that you can't do it.
Oh, so that was before that.
Yeah, that was before that. So Trump is saying, sorry, Steve Bannon said,
Yeah, not
have you heard?
consecutive.
Yeah, not consecutive.
What does that mean?
They're not
So-
consecutive. So it doesn't count.
Oh, come on. Oh, because it says not consecutive in the thing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
It
say
says
that at all.
consecutive.
Oh.
So he's saying that
Oh, so
This-
he's
because this
using.
is not
No,
consecutive.
but any
yeah,
constitutional lawyer that you speak to says that's absolutely
And
not
then
okay.
Trump
Yeah,
said that
right,
there's
right.
another way. He's like, there's many ways. There's another way where JD Vance runs for the ticket, and as soon as he gets elected, he cedes power to me.
Yeah, no, I think you could do that probably, actually. That sounds about right.
Dude.
There's many ways to
But
do
the
it.
fact that this is what he's talking about, and it's like a couple of
I
months
think this.
in.
Do you know? I
And
think
he's doing bad.
I'm telling you that this is where this is coming from. I don't think he was genuinely considering a third term before, but everyone around him, and this is the perfect dictator playbook. Everyone around him is probably telling him, "Sir, we're doing great things for the American economy. The problem is 4 years are too little for this. In order to see the benefits, we're gonna have to go for 8 years. We need you here, sir. We need you here." And he's thinking, "Yes, I am the most important thing.
I'm very important.
I'm very important.
I think we do need.
If it needs to be done for the country,
Frankly, I think you have a very good point here. Probably do need 8 years.
he'd want to do it."
maybe, whatever, maybe in 10 years we could cut it in half. That would be pretty old. Like do 10 years. It's insane, dude. It's insane.
So Bill Maher had a really good one where this new rule was, the right keeps asking me, "Bill, there's so many things we agree on. Why don't you just come to our site? This is the reason. I don't want to live in North Korea." It's like anything that Trump says is amazing to you.
Yeah.
It's like apparently he took over the some like Kennedy Art Center,
yeah.
and some like a Republican defender was like, Donald Trump is
Yeah.
the only man who knows how art works. And he's
Yeah.
like,
He has a
and Bill's like,
nuanced music taste.
relax. Don't get it on your hair.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I think, yeah, it is.
It is like
becoming very
every year-
scarily cultish.
Every year, Donald Trump wins the golf tournament at Mar-a-Lago, which is what Kim Jong-un apparently does.
You reckon he doesn't legitimately win it?
No, he's gotten a hole in one, like, I don't know, 400 times or something.
Oh God, it's so weird.
And Trump somehow always wins this tournament that has professional golfers
and then
in it.
also tweets it, being like, "I won the beautiful Mar-a-Lago competition." It's like, what are you talking about? Who cares, dude? Who cares? Like, just
cares.
keep it to
He's a
yourself.
winner.
His golf habit is so much more worse than George Bush. Do you remember George Bush?
Yeah.
He'd just be playing golf, and the reporters would be like, President, there's reports of waterboarding in Guantanamo." Now, listen to me. Those guys are terrorists, the worst of the worst terrorists. Now watch me hit this ball.
Yeah,
That was
watch this
baller.
drive.
That was sick.
Now watch this
I miss
try.
those days.
And
And
it
now
was a
you just
pretty
have
good drive,
him
too.
instead just being like, "Look, it's Donald Trump, 42nd president of the United States, and 44th as well."
Fuck.
Oh, and they're naming.
Worse.
So fucking scary.
Did you hear that they're naming the new fighter jet that America's making after
yeah.
Trump? It'll be called the F-47 because Donald Trump, 47.
47th president.
Also, apparently they were like, there's calls to be like, we should chisel in Trump's face into the, what's it called?
Oh, well, do that. Come on. You've got to do that.
Mount
I'm all
Rushmore.
on board with that. Put him in Rushmore. In fact, get rid of the other guys. Just they've had their
Just
glory.
knock them down and just Trump, they're just going, and one man.
Maybe you could put Ivana and shit in there.
Oh,
That would be incredible. Trump in the middle, and then Don Jr. and whatever the other one's called, all his kids.
It's so scary. It's a bit weird. I was never ever. I was telling Jordan this. I was never one of these people like there was like I told Jordan that like when Trump came out, there was a band I really liked, and they had a song that was like there's lyrics being like "Sick and tired of Donald Trump," and I was just like, "Shut up!" And I was like, "Whatever," and like I was like, whatever, let him cook. And like now, I legitimately am. Sick and tired. I'm like it's my classic delayed reaction. My classic delayed reaction.
No, the pulse of society.
Yeah,
I'm in the same boat. I was not sick of Donald Trump until he won the last election, and then I was tired.
Like now, I'm
now
just
I'm
like,
not sick.
it's like
I'm
it's
sick because
tiring.
I'm scared.
You're scared?
Yeah, I'm sick. I'm puking.
It's a lot. It's just like this is this. You realize this is gone. Like this is too far. Like this shit is very intense. What he's doing. It's like like I don't know who could be like into it now.
Dude, apparently the only thing, Trump's popularity is still decent because
Really?
of one policy only, and that's immigration. And not like the
Right.
Palestinian one, it's like the illegal immigration.
Right, yeah.
Like people in the US overwhelmingly, and we have to admit this, are in agreement with the deportations.
Right.
Yeah, but
It's just
it's all smoke and mirrors again, but whatever. It's the image. That's all I
yeah,
care about.
but they like the image.
I like
And
it.
this
You
is
reckon
and
it's
it's
smoke
not
and
just
mirrors?
like
Smoke and mirrors.
I don't think that seems like the plane thing was pretty real.
No, it's real.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's it's all image, right?
is-
Like
it
you
is
look at the
smoke.
numbers,
So
and
the
as
numbers-
always,
The same.
Biden deported more.
Really?
yeah. In fact, Obama
No,
deported a lot
the
of
most.
people too. The thing
Are
is,
you
dude,
bullshit?
No, it's just they care about actual government due process. Who'd have guessed the party that actually cares about the government
Right.
functioning properly
The due
makes it function
process.
better?
yeah, dude. Obama and Biden both deported heaps of people. I think the difference is that Trump is like building, which I think Jordan is right when he says this. He's building this image of like,
Tough.
this is gonna be, if you come here, you're gonna be screwed badly.
Yeah.
So I think it's he's just making sure that the incentive isn't there. But it's not that he's deporting more people. He's making a big marketing show
Right.
about it, which honestly is
Right.
kind of effective. That's how Tony Abbott and all those guys did.
Right. Really?
Yeah. Just
Damn.
like, if you come here, you will be sent back. And you'll be sent to
It
like
is pretty
a prison
crazy.
offshore.
Dude, it
That's-
is pretty crazy how they just like ICE just detained that like Muslim lady.
Yeah, but that's different. That's not, when I say illegal immigrant, that's not what Americans had signed up for.
No.
That's like she came here. She came
was
there on a
legal.
legal
Yeah,
visa.
yeah.
She went to a protest,
Yeah.
and she's getting deported as a consequence.
That's crazy.
No one voted for that.
No,
and no one is
no.
claiming that they. I think that's probably an unpopular.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. And
pretty crazy.
It's pretty intense, dude. You saw that video,
I
right?
did, yeah.
It's a scary video, because that poor girl, she was like, you
She's
could
like,
see that like she looked really harmless, bro. Like she looked super harmless. Like she was just like, remember your friend Min Hee? Imagine if like ICE came and arrested Min Hee.
Min Shi.
Damn.
I don't, yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the footage, but it does sound very sad. Is it?
No, it's not sad, dude. It's scary.
Scary.
It's beyond sad. Sad is like, oh, why are they doing this? Like scary is like, holy shit, what is going on?
Yeah.
Should have skipped the Ramadan thing that day. She was leaving like
dude.
something.
She was going, and she was like also really hungry because she was going.
going to eat something. It's like that's the time.
Brutal. And they take it just then.
The time to be arrested by like national border security is not after like a week-long fast. That's a downside of Islam right there.
Yeah, totally.
The chances of Jesus. No, it is very it's pretty bizarre and scary. Yeah, it's like crazy. Like
It's crazy. We're out of time. Any wrap up?
yeah, don't
Messages?
don't eat too
Bye.
much.
We'll go to the
beef
big teller
fat.
for that. And
Don't eat
also,
too much
I've got a
beef
story
fat.
for the upplate of something that I said that was so bad that I can't publicly disclose that.
Oh,
it has to go to the family.
Okay. Don't overdo beef tallow. That's my take. Don't overdo it.
But that'll be
Maybe
the
there's a
update.
reason why
More to
people
come.
stopped using it in like the 50s.
No. You're bringing it back.
You know that's what you know that's why Macca's used to cook their chips in beef tallow.
Yeah, what, in the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And just give a quick review. so that we can get a sizzle into the up plate.
Delicious, but takes a
Too
toll
delicious.
on the body. Takes a toll. I'll tell you that
Okay.
much.
Be
Takes,
careful what you wish for.
yes.
We'll talk about your
Yeah.
tallow problems of the upplay. Thanks everyone.
Thank
we'll
you.
see
Loves
you
tallow
guys.
reading.